Today we continue with twists, and the theme, the intention is to be okay being uncomfortable. So a lot of the poses, and even some of the twisting poses, such as twisted triangle, they feel constricting, but they also feel somewhat expansive. Whereas the twists that we're going to work on today are a little bit more constrictive. So that will take time and practice to get used to that. So that's what we're focusing on. You'll want 2 blocks if you have them. If you happen to have a bolster at home or a meditation cushion, that would be great. If you don't have any of those, then a large pillow or 2 pillows to use later on. Okay, so you're gonna get started in your comfortable cross-legged position or kneel. You can prop something up underneath, rest your hands down, pull your shoulders down your back, close your eyes or gaze down the tip of your nose. Reach up tall through the crown of the head. Begin to lengthen your breath. Slow breath out. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhalation. Inhale, remind yourself. Exhale to be okay with discomfort. Last breath together here. Release the breath out slowly through the nose. Blink your eyes open. Make your way onto your back. Knees up into the air. Shoulders down your back. We're going to start with some core work. Reach the hands down by your side. Tuck your chin into your chest. Lift your head and your shoulders up and flip your palms so they're facing down towards the floor. Keep breathing deeply and begin to tap your ankles with your index finger. You can move nice and slowly. Make sure you're keeping your chin tucked in, shoulders off the ground, or you can begin to pick up the pace. Everything else is staying pretty still. You're just moving the arms and the fingers down. But what you're working here is those obliques, side body, side waistline. No matter how fast you go, try to maintain the long breath. Ujjayi pranayama if you practice that. And we'll go for just a little bit longer. Good for 3, 2, and 1. Release the head and the shoulders down carefully. Stretch your arms up overhead. Hold on to elbows if you don't have space back behind you. And extend your legs down straight. Bring your feet both over to the right side of your mat. Take a crescent moon stretch on your back, reaching the hands up and over towards the right side of the room. Just stretch out the left side obliques that you just worked. Come back to the middle. Bring your feet over to the left. Hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. Gently wiggle your hands and your shoulders over to the left, keeping your right shoulder blade onto the floor. If you find that you've gone a little bit too far, then just back out. Breathe deeply. Good, and then come back to the middle. Bend your knees. Release your arms back down and bring your hands back behind your head. This is a classic oblique exercise. You're going to extend one leg out and bring opposite knee and elbow. Keeping the breath long, making this as slow as you want, or pick up the pace. Strengthening your obliques for the twists that are coming later in the class. Good, just a few more. for 3, 2, and last one on each side. Then slowly, so already slowly lower down and take a simple full body stretch. Legs extend, point your toes away from you. Arms reach up overhead, and if you're practicing at home with a tight space, then hold on to your elbows. Breathe here. It feels nice to inhale that right side longer than the left, and then exhale the left side longer than the right. Come back to the middle. Good. There's the warm up. So let's roll onto the side. Come all the way up to the top of your mat to stand. Stand at the top of the mat. Feet hip distance, shoulders down your back. Okay, start with arms only. If you have space, you can reach out. If you're tight in the room you're in today, then reach straight out forward. Inhale, lift your arms up, look up at your hands, touch your hands together, and when you exhale, gently pull the hands down through center. Release, open the arms, ground through the feet. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, pull down. One more time to link the breath, inhale, and the movement. Exhale, good. This time, inhale, lift up. You're going to exhale, bend the knees, and fold over your legs into Uttanasana. Relax the head. Hands come onto shins. Inhale, straight arms, straight back. Exhale, back over the legs, Uttanasana. Push into your feet. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Look up at your hands. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good. Drop the hands down. Open the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold over your legs. Push into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Gaze up at those thumbs. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good. We'll build on by stepping that right foot back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step your right foot back behind you, lower onto your right knee. If you need to support, grab a blanket or roll your mat. Walk your hands onto your front left thigh, pull your shoulders down your back. You can either tuck your back right toes under or point them back behind you. If you can point the toes back, push down into the top of the foot gently, and then slide this whole femur bone forward. It won't go anywhere, you're just activating to get a deeper stretch in the front of the leg. Options for the hands. Keep them right on the thigh, bring them onto the hips, or inhale, lift them up next to the ears. Breathe deeply, center your gaze. Last inhale. Exhale, lower hands down. Lift your right knee up and step back with the left foot into downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance. Bring your hips back behind you. Then shift forward for plank. Inhale, spread through your fingers. First time, exhale, drop to the knees. Take a breath and push the floor away. Inhale. On the exhale, elbows go straight back behind you. Lower down onto the belly. And then lift up. Inhale, hands hover by your side for baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push back through tabletop and into downward facing dog. Carefully, minding what's around you, lift your right leg up behind you into three-legged dog. Look forward, exhale. Round your back, bring your right foot through, maybe coming down onto back left knee to pull right foot forward, so that you're in your low lunge with the right leg forward. Same cueing, if you can, point your left toes back behind you, pull your shoulders down your back, and this whole time you're gonna push down into your back left foot, slide your left femur forward, and see if that changes where you're feeling this stretch. Arms stay on front thigh, come to hips, or lift up next to ears. If balance is a bit wobbly, you can practice besides a wall or move your mat so you're near a piece of furniture so you can hold on to for support. Continue to breathe deeply. Settle your eyes. Last inhale, and then we'll step forward. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your front right foot. Lift your left knee up. Step your left foot to be hip distance in line with the right foot. Next time you inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Flat back, good. Exhale, forward fold. Feel those hamstrings. Push into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Look up at the hands. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good, same thing again, except we'll lead with the left leg. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, left leg comes back. Lower down onto left knee. Keep it that nice short lunge for now. Come up to vertical. On the inhale, if you're lifting the arms, lift them up. On the exhale, lower them back down. Step back, down dog. Spread through the fingers. When you inhale, shift forward, plank. Lower onto your knees or knees up. Inhale, push floor away. Exhale, with control, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or push into the hands, lift up to up dog. And then roll over, back into downward facing dog. Feet hip distance, spread through the fingers. Three-legged, left leg lifts and leads. Lift up, inhale. Exhale, step it through, round the back. If you can get all the way between the hands, great. If you need to hold on with the left hand, fine. That's a good way to get that foot up there. Walk your hands up. Just one breath, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Push into your feet, moving with your breath. Inhale all the way up to standing. Look up at your hands. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good. 2 sun salutations, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. So instead of the lunges, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. You're going to step both feet back straight into plank pose. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, lower knees down or legs up. Inhale, baby cobra, or hover to up dog. Exhale, roll back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of rounds of breath here. If you need a child's pose, then lower onto your knees. Might feel good for you to pedal out your heels. Bring more of a stretch into your calves, alternating the heel that's up and the heel that's down with each breath. Just 2 more rounds of breath here. Spread through your fingers. If you're in child's pose, make your way back up into down dog for the transition. Good, then everybody come into down dog. Look forward, walk to the top of the mat as far as you can, and then hands can come back to meet feet. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, relax your head. Push into your feet, inhale all the way up to stand, lift up, look up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good, one more, just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back or jump back, plank. Lower on the exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. Just for a couple of breaths. And for this version of down dog, try to see how this feels. Step your feet out as wide as your mat. And when you inhale, sway your hips to the right. Exhale, sway your hips both over to the left. Inhale over to the right, that right knee bends. One more time, exhale over to the left knee bends. Inhale, back into down dog. Step your feet together. Look forward, walk or bend your knees, bring your belly to your thighs. And hop, landing lightly at the top of the mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Push into both feet. Inhale, ground down, lift up. Hands touch above head, exhale, Samastitihi. Relax the hands down. Good. Okay, so that was the warm-up, sun salutations. Now we will flow back to get back to down dog and transition, but from here on out you have the choice to skip the vinyasas if you prefer to stay in down dog or take child's pose. You could always do forearm plank as well. Top of the mat. We're going to move into the twist. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, if you want to do a vinyasa, step back, plank chaturanga, or hang out in down dog. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Okay, everyone back in down dog. If you're in child's, lift up. Inhale, extend your right leg back behind you. Exhale, bring it through to that low lunge again, lowering onto your back left knee. This time, wiggle your right foot further forward, and then bring your hands up. So it's just slightly different. Now the hips are sinking more towards the front shin instead of being vertical. And from here, we'll take a twist. So lots of options for the twist. Option one is to bring your right hand on your hip, left hand reaches up, and then twist that left hand to the outer right knee. Thumb points in. Stay like this with the torso. Maybe bring the hands up to heart center, to a prayer position, or you can open and fly those wings. Open the arms, thumbs up towards the ceiling. Or, and this is tight and may be uncomfortable, bring your hands back to the prayer. Inhale, lift your left elbow up, and exhale, hook outside that right leg. Normally we're trying to get expansive here, even though it's quite tight, by pushing down into the thigh, and I want you to still do that, but for today's practice, place your right hand on your outer right thigh and wiggle that left tricep as far down as you can, and then bring your hands back to prayer. Tucking the left toes under behind you might help for balance. Breathe. Hard to breathe in such a tight twist. This is what I mean when I say to practice the discomfort. One more inhale. Look down at your front right foot. Exhale, unwind. Place your hands down. Transition through down dog or through tabletop, stepping your left foot forward. If you're in down dog, inhale, extend left leg three-legged. Exhale, pull it through. Right knee comes down. Okay, so here's this very tight version, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Wiggle your left foot forward. Already, let's tuck the right toes right away. I'm going to switch so I can face you. Come up to vertical. Bring your left hand on your hip. Inhale, lift your right hand up. Exhale, twist to the left leg, and then lower your right hand outside. You can stay right here, or bring your hands to heart center. Breathing, long breath the whole time. Maybe inhale, you open up through the arms, thumbs up towards the ceiling. Or bring your hands back to prayer, and to find length in that side body, first lift the right elbow up, and then cross and hook. Look down at your left foot. Place your left hand for support on your outer thigh, and wiggle that right tricep, almost so you can get down into that shoulder. Rehook. For some of us, this is not going to be possible, and if that's the case, then you can practice this version with the forearm or the back of the hand. Breathe deeply as you can. Try to relax through your face. One more inhale. Then look down at your left foot. Unhook, place your hands down good, step back, down dog. Step back and release into child's pose or flow vinyasa. Inhale forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. If you're in child's pose, lift back up so that you're in downward facing dog. Extend your right leg back behind you, three-legged. Exhale, pull it through for Virabhadrasana 2. Turn your left toes out. Warrior 2, cartwheel the arms up, palms face down. Reach out through the arms, bend through the right knee. And turn your gaze to face over the right middle finger. Feel tall through the top of the head. Release the left hand down or find a half bind behind your back. Turn the right palm up, length through the right side body. Inhale, Exalted Warrior. You can look at the horizon, you can look down at your back left foot, or you can turn your chin, your eyes, your face, and look up towards the top right arm. Breathe deeply. A lot of focus has gone into the torso and the arms. Don't forget to bend through the right knee. One more inhale. Exhale, come back into Warrior Two. Inhale, stretch through the arms. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up, three-legged. Exhale, step it through, maybe helping the foot up with the left hand. Turn the right toes out, Warrior Two, second side. Push into both feet. Inhale, bring the arms up, palms face down. Left knee bent. Then drop your right hand down. And if you're gonna keep the right hand on the outer right thigh, that's fine. Just don't push into it. It's hanging out. It's not applying any pressure there. Or you can bring the back of the hand to the left side waistline. Turn your left hand up. On an inhalation, find lots of space, reach up and over, and then find your gaze. I personally like to look down at my back foot because it gives me an added stretch in my neck. But you can look forward or you can look up. Bend through the left knee and breathe. Take one more inhale, reach through the left fingers. Exhale, bring the right hand back out. Inhale, reach out, Warrior Two. Exhale, cartwheel down, downward facing dog, child's pose, or Vinyasa. On an inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Good. Okay, inhale, extend your right leg up and back. Exhale, help it up, pull it through, and then this time you're gonna keep your left toes where they are and come up for a high lunge. Hands on your hips. Again, if you need support for your balance, you can have that mat near a wall or slide a chair near you so you can hold on to it. If the front left leg is tight, then move that left foot in a little bit and bend through the left knee. But if you have the space in the front of the leg, wiggle your left foot back and stretch out through the back heel. Hands on your hips. Keep your right hand on your hip. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, twist and lower hand onto the thigh. Bring hands up to heart center, or open hands up to a twist, reaching out. Stay here. This is a lot of challenge on the lower body for balance, or very carefully, you can lower onto your left knee, hook the left elbow around the outside of the right knee, and then from there, re-extend into the high lunge, lifting the left knee off the ground. Breathe deeply. Of course, you can also fly your arms open here, maybe using a block to get underneath there. And then unwind, place your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend your left leg, three-legged. Exhale, place it in between your two hands and come up to your high lunge. Same thing, right knee can bend or extend back through that right leg. Shoulders down your back. Bring your left hand on your hip. Inhale, lift your right arm up, get lots of length. Exhale, twist and bring that right hand to the outer left thigh. Good. This is a great twist to stay in and be in. If you need to, of course, drop that right leg back onto the floor for stability. Bring the hands up to prayer, or all of this is progression. You don't have to do all of them. I'm just giving you options to find what works for you. Open the arms up. Or from day to day, it's going to change all the time. So now let's go into that twist by lowering gently onto the right knee and then hooking the right elbow up and around the left thigh. If the knee scooches back, which mine often does, bring it back over the ankle, push down, retuck right toes, and extend right leg. You can open the arms and fly, but be somewhere where you can be somewhat comfortable. These are not the most enjoyable poses for many of us. Breathe deeply. If you're looking up, look down, unwind, plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog, lower into child's pose, or flow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog or child, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. Actually, set your right leg back down. Let's start from the top of the mat. Look forward and walk or hop the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Hip distance once you're there. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, Uttanasana. Push into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good. So those twisting lunges, especially where you hook the elbow, are very tight. I want to start from standing and come into pyramid pose to get into the backs of the legs more. So then we can work some more twists. So standing at the top of the mat, hands on your hips. We'll start with the right foot forward, and you may want your yoga block, or if you don't have a yoga block, you can use a big heavy water bottle filled with liquid. Place it on the left side of your mat. Bend your knees, step your left foot back. If you have two blocks, even better. We're going to go into Parsvakonasana pyramid. Point all 10 toes forward. Left heel can be back in slightly or be straight behind you. I want you to square your hips forward. So wherever your foot placement needs to be, that you can do that. Make sure that that left foot is not right directly behind right leg. That's going to be impossible for balance. You need about a block's distance, really your hip point distance away, and possibly slightly wider for more stability. Okay, so hands are on the hips and bring that left hip forward, right hip forward. We'll keep hands on hips today. If you want to bring hands to reverse prayer, go for it. Inhale, lift the top of the head up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Right hip moves back. Once you're parallel, inhale. Exhale, and then reach down for the two yoga blocks or water bottle or books, whatever you have at home to use. Inhale, extend crown of the head forward. Exhale, bend elbows and fold. For very tight hamstrings, you might be in a version like this, more vertical, but you'll still get the benefit of this extension through the back of the right leg. Continuously bringing right hip back, left foot forward. Breathe deeply. Take one more breath. Reach out through the top of the head. Exhale. Push into your feet. If hands are on blocks or floor, inhale, extend, push into the feet, exhale, come all the way up. And if the hands were in reverse prayer, just push strongly into the feet to lift up. Mind the block beside you, step your left foot forward. Widen the blocks out so you can step that left foot about in the middle of your mat, toes point forward. With knees bent, step your right foot back. And how far away you step that right foot is really going to depend on the length of your legs and the openness in your hamstring. Pull right hip forward, left hip back, push down into both feet. Inhale through the top of the head. You can find your reverse prayer position for the backs of the hands, but today I'm going to just keep hands on hips. When you exhale, hinge at those hip points down. Pull left hip back, keep pulling left hip back. Inhale, reach without locking that leg. Exhale, hands come onto blocks or floor. Inhale, extend again, straight spine. Stay here, stay more upright with hands on hips, or continue to fold. And if you find the elbows bend a lot, then you can remove the blocks or reposition them at a different height. Try to maintain the straight spine. Breathe. Focus your gaze. And lengthen through your spine. Good. If you have those blocks or props, you can bring them back underneath shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, ground through the feet. Come all the way up and careful of those blocks. Bend the knee. Step the back foot to meet the front foot. Slide the props out of your way. Stand at the top of the mat. Vinyasa, inhale, lift up and look up. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back. Plank Chaturanga. Inhale, Updog or Cobra. Exhale, back down dog. Take just one breath and then we'll go back to the top of the mat. Good, look forward. Walk or hop. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, forward fold down. Push into both feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands at heart center. Good. So this time you're gonna want just the one block as we set up for I'm blanking here. Just a triangle. Reta Trikonasana. So you want that block on the left side of your yoga mat, and your right foot is right beside it. But there's a distance between, about a hand distance between your right side of the foot and the block. Similar setup as you just did for pyramid pose. Your left foot comes back, and again, it just depends on the lengths of the legs, how far, and you bring both hips forward. Right hand is gonna stay on your hip, left hand comes up next to your ear. Inhale, extend, lots of length here. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Reach, reach, reach until your belly is parallel to the floor, and then find the prop. Place it so it's underneath the shoulder, push down, and when you exhale, twist to the side. Okay, so many options here. I'll talk you through some of them. You can lower your prop down or move it out of the way completely so your hand is next to the big toe side of the foot, or you can move the prop, or without your prop, move your hand to the pinky toe side of the foot. Just watch that your hips aren't swaying out. Try to keep everything in the center line, including the head and the torso. Breathe deeply. And if any of those options aren't working, then come back. You can also lift that top right arm up. Really imagine that the crown of the head is reaching straight forward. If your crown of the head, if you had a ray of light shining out through the top of your head and it's pointing to the corner of the room, then your spine isn't quite straight. Point it straight over the center of the front of the mat. Okay, enough talking. Let's come out. Look down. Release the hand. Turn the belly and the chest. Bring your right hand on your hip and come out just the same way. Push into the feet. Lift your left arm up. And then release left hand down. Good. Watch that block. Step your left foot forward. You're going to bring that block or prop to the other side of your yoga mat. Hands on hips, bend knees, step your right foot back behind you. Good. So this is one of those poses that can feel very tight and constricting, especially if you cross that hand over the leg. Of course, you don't have to. There's a fine line for your yoga practice, your yoga pose to feel extremely uncomfortable. Should not be any pain. And you pushing your edge, pushing your limit, and slowly with practice and progress building your poses. Okay, left hand on your hip. Lift your right arm up. Exhale, hinge at your left hip. Reach forward, inhale. Look down. Exhale, lower your right hand down and find your prop. Push into your prop with palm flat or fist, and then turn the belly, the chest, the face over towards the left leg. You can here lift the left arm up and hold this pose. Be right here. Or you can move that prop over to the other side. You can lower the prop down. Find what works for you. You might notice that maybe this left hamstring is tighter than the right hamstring. You're not able to go as far on this side. Respect that, listen to that, and breathe. Bring everything into the center. Focus your eyes. Lengthen your breath. Good. I felt like I was talking a lot on that first side, so we'll hold just one more breath. And then exhale, lower left hand down. Twist everything out. Move that block back over with you. Ground through both feet. Inhale, come up with your right hand, left hand on your hip, and then release the right hand as well. Step your right foot to the top of the mat. You can stand right here and breathe, holding, or flow. If you need a moment to just catch your breath, then stay here in Tadasana. Inhale or flow. Lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back. Plank. Lower down on the exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, lift up. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Breathe. If you're in child's pose, relax your forehead onto the ground. Take one more breath wherever you are. If you're in child's, lift up to down dog. If you're in Tadasana, walk yourself to the middle of the mat. If you're in down dog, wherever you are, we're gonna make our way into Malasana, or deep squat. So somewhere in the middle of your mat, you're going to lower onto your feet with the toes turned out and the knees turned out. And then place your elbows into your inner thighs, hand at heart center. Now for some of you with tight ankles or maybe knee issues, this is not going to be possible. So you're going to practice a more uplifted version, maybe wider feet. This I actually find to be more difficult because it really starts to build heat in the quads. So you can absolutely be here. You can also grab one of your blocks and have a seat on the block, making sure the knees are turned out. 2 would probably be best if you have 2. Breathe. Good. Okay. I'm going to come back into Malasana, moving my block out of the way. Wherever you are, backs of the hands or forearms or elbows into the inner thighs. Give a gentle push, hands at heart center. Try to find length in the top of the head and breathe. Good. If you're comfortable enough to stay in Malasana for a couple of moments or minute and a half or so, then stay there. If you want to sit down while I demonstrate, please have a seat. What we're going to move into now is some Bakasana practice. So you're going to walk your feet closer, lift your heels up off the ground. So instead of the feet being down, they're much, much closer, so they touch and heels are up off the ground. You might stay here, or reach your hands forward. If you want to try crow today, then go ahead and join me. Walk your hands back, spread through your fingers, and think of Chaturanga. Lift your hips up, bend your elbows, and try to find connection with the shins and the elbows, or the triceps. Spread through the fingers and look forward. This is a great place to be, as is Malasana. One heel can come up, you can set it down, and then lift the other, or shift your hips. And maybe over time, maybe lots of time, you lift both toes, both feet up off the ground, round your back and breathe. Keep your elbows hugging in. And after a few moments, set the feet down. Once you have rest your wrists, a practice of crow, and then continue working on endurance, holding for longer, and eventually you can do other things like jumping back. But for today, we're just going to do crow. So one more time, and if Malasana isn't working or weight on the wrist isn't good, then let's quickly just do a version where we're sitting on the butt. So everyone can do this, even if you just did crow. This is a good version to do when the wrists are tired. Bring your knees out away. We're basically doing Malasana but on your bum now. Bring your big toes together. Reach your arms out in front of you. Flex through your wrists as if the wall in front of you is the floor. Hook the elbows if you can. And then lean back and bring those heels up off the floor, feet up off the floor. This is a lot of work. You're working the adductors, the hip flexors, the core, of course. Breathe and balance. It's a little bit hard to do it in this rounded version, so if you're more here, that's fine too. Okay, so continue with that. Malasana, or one more time, Bakasana, knees out, feet together, hands on the floor, spread through your fingers. Hands are not close together, they are shoulder distance apart. Lean forward, one at a time, or both. Lift the feet up. Breathe. Just one more breath. Exhale, set the feet down. Good. If you're on your seat practicing the Malasana crow version, then make your way, everyone, into down dog. Open up into a child's pose. Skip down dog right into child's pose. Extend the arms out. Rest the forehead. If it doesn't quite reach, you can use a block. But I want you to be able to extend your arms out at the front of the mat so that you can open and close the hands, spread through the fingers, and then cautiously and carefully make circles with the wrists and the hands, and then switch the direction. Good. Stay in your child's pose. Lift in a down dog to build shoulder strength, or flow in between. Exhale. Our next set, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Good. And then meet kneeling on in the middle of the mat. This is where the props are going to be handy. So if you have two blocks, cork or foam, good. If you have a bolster or a meditation cushion, good. If you have a pillow, maybe like a couch cushion type pillow, that would be good. There are bolsters here, but I'm going to show you with the blocks because I imagine that you don't have bolsters at home. What we're going to work on now is some side crow. So I was doing this earlier, and you're going to want to either be facing laterally on your mat, set the blocks in this position, which gives you a bigger base, or turn them up and put them together like this. And then make sure they're somewhere back towards the side of your mat so you have placement for your hands to go, especially if you're on a surface that might be slippery. And then instead of opening the knees up wide, opening the inner hips, you're going to close the legs together in this kneeling position. And if this is not possible for the joints, then briefly let me show you. You would practice on your sit bones like this. Knees together, just like before, and here, crossing over towards the left. So you can be there, or with your knees together, you're going to place, I have this nice visual of a seam on my outer leg. Place your seam down onto your blocks. Keep the feet on the floor. And then it's a deep twist. It's not very comfortable. Place your left hand down and place your right hand out in line with the left hand. Fingers spread, just like chaturanga. It's very tight, constricting pose. So you're going to bend the elbows, hook, if you can, the left elbow underneath the left outer hip, and breathe. You're also very close to the floor, which is sometimes not that reassuring, but you're on blocks, so you should be fine. The last thing to do is maybe lift those feet up off the floor. Good. Squeeze the inner thighs, lift the feet, try to breathe, and then come out the same way, set the feet down, straighten through the arms, and we'll switch to the other side. It's not comfortable. It's not necessarily fun, but this is a good way to get the lower body supported while you work on the technique of this arm balance. So I wouldn't put the edge of your hips right at the edge of the blocks. I'd move more so you've got some overhang because that's where your elbow's gonna go. Bring your legs together. Twist towards the side of your mat. Right hand down, left hand down. Fingers spread and hands are shoulder distance apart. Breathe. Exhale, bend your elbows. Maybe you're not making any contact with the elbows and that's fine. At this placement, I don't really have a good connection. Breathe, and then maybe lift your feet up off the ground. Doing this version on the blocks really helps you feel the other elements of the pose. Not just the shoulders, not just the core, also the outer legs, the inner legs. Lower down, come up. Good, and then walk yourself carefully off. At home, the foam blocks are not gonna obviously be as sturdy, so if you have cork blocks, that's better. All right, rest on your knees or sitting. So we're gonna do that a couple more times, a couple more ways. And this is your choice, and I want you to know that you can build up to whatever one you're going to practice. So I'm going to remove the blocks. You can either continue what you were just doing with the blocks down, keep holding and practicing that. You're workshopping. You're not gonna get this pose instantly like that. You're gonna have to do the work. And it's uncomfortable, but become okay with that. You can do the version, which I'll show you in more detail here, where you sit down on the floor, feet on the floor, knees together. Lift your right arm up, cross over to the left side, and then place your left elbow down. Flex through your wrists, breathe. Give me a little cramp there, so tight. Good, and then you can hover the feet. Yeah, a little bit tight there. Okay, so let's see if I'll be able to do side curl. So you can do that switching sides, or if you are comfortable with putting weight on your wrist, if you feel okay, you felt okay doing Bakasana crow and you want to try side crow, then you're going to join me now. Anytime you need a break, please child's pose, roll out your wrists and rest. Move your whole body to the left side of your yoga mat, or one side of your yoga mat. Your right fingertips down. I'm starting twisting over to the right first. Lift your left arm up and hook the elbow underneath as much as you can. Just like those lunges we did where you really wiggled that armpit down. You want to get a good hook. Place your right hand down. Place your left hand down. There are two versions of this pose. I'll show you both. The first one, the easier one, is where you support the hip area with your back right elbow. Spread through the fingers, lift your hips up, look forward, lean forward so that your thigh is resting on your elbows, and then maybe you bring those feet up off the ground. Breathe. Stay and hold or come back down. We'll do the second, I will show you the second version here now, which you can try before we go to the other side. So second version, exactly the same thing. You hook that outer elbow, except your left elbow is away. So you're not going to support this hip at all. It's going to be hovering. So it's a lot of core oblique work. Hinge forward, bend at the elbows, lift your feet up. Breathe. And then come down. Good. All right, turn to the other side. Lift the right arm up, lots of length, so you can get as tight as you can on this outer left thigh. Place your right hand down. I'm gonna hook here, this first side. I don't do this side very often. Lean forward. Maybe those feet come up off the ground. Breathe. And then set it down. Good. And then if you want to go for the version where you're not hooking the elbow on the thigh, then we'll try it now. And a reminder that falling is part of yoga. There's no shame in it. We're not really that far from the ground. So left hand is out away this time. Spread through all 10 fingers. Hinge forward. And then see if you can lift those feet up off the ground. Ooh, lower down. Good. Now I think child's pose would be nice. Move the blocks out of the way. Open out through the knees. Big toes together. Arms out in front of you. Take a little breath, little breather, and give your wrists some gentle movement. Reconnect to that breath. Ujjayi. That pose is really tight. A lot of the arm balances, especially the twisting ones, are very, very tight. And to be honest, initially very uncomfortable. The more you practice, the more ease you will find in them. Okay, relax the hands, lift the head up, remove the block out of the way. If you would like to stay in child's, please stay in child's pose. Come into down dog or flow. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, up dog or Cobra. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. Slowly lower onto your knees and extend your legs out. Actually turn to the side. Move the props out of the way as we enter into cool down. So you're gonna open your legs out wide. Try to have the heels on the mat and the sit bones at the same time if you can, but if you can only have one, I would choose the heels so that you have support underneath them. Remove the flesh. Good. Hands can be back behind you so you're in your vertical upright position. You can stay right here. Or you can walk your hands forward and begin to fold. If the forearms go down, if you go flat to the floor, great. Go to your edge, stay, hold, and breathe. Gaze down or close your eyes. Remembering to flex through your feet and that the toes and the knees, all four point up towards the ceiling. There's a lot of things we have to learn to become comfortable with or to be okay with in life. And at the beginning, when our lives initially transition, it's extremely difficult. But with time, and as we get used to the new state of being, things become easier. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Walk your hands back. We're going to take this into a side body stretch. So we stretch out the obliques that were worked a lot in those twists. Left hand can be inside the leg or on your shin, just not on the kneecap. Bring your right hand to your hip and then right into your armpit. Thumb into armpit. Lean down, reach down as far as you can, keeping both feet flexed. And then inhale, reach the top right arm up and over. Holding on to the back of the head if that's more comfortable. Be grounded through your right sit bone. Breathe deeply. And now inhale, slowly come back up. Release your right hand down and then onto your right shin. Lean over slightly, or begin to twist, I should say, over towards the left. Bring your left hand onto your hip. Right hand can be in front or on shin. Bring your left thumb into your left armpit. Keep your left elbow down. Inhale, extend up and over. Look up, look forward or look down. Bring your hand to the back of your head. This is an option. It might feel better on some shoulders. Breathe deeply. Relax through your face. Easier now than in that side crow. Good, inhale, come up. Release your left hand down. Keep the legs as they are. We're going to make this a little bit more dynamic, but still gentle, still calming and relaxing for the end of class. Open the arms out to a T. We're going to alternate the hand, kind of like Exalted Warrior arms, but as we reach down for the leg extended out in front. Start going over to the left first. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, come back up to the T, palms down. Left hand up. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, come back to the T. Good, inhale, over to the left. Focus, exhale on the length in the side body. Inhale, up and over to the right. Exhale, come back. 2 more, each side. Inhale. Exhale. With your breath, inhale over to the right. Exhale, good. Last one, each side. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Inhale, reach over to the right foot. Exhale, come up. Lower hands down. To release the legs, manually grab behind the hamstring. Bend the knee up towards the ceiling. Walk your feet in. Scoot yourself so that your feet, soles of your feet come together for Parsvakonasana. You can be wider in a diamond shape. You can prop yourself up with something underneath your sit bones, or you can bring the heels closer in, as close as they'll come comfortably. If you have the reach, hold on to the ankles or the feet and use that connection to adjust the spine. So now I'm in this curved position and I hold on to where I can and lift up. Good. You can visibly see that shift in the low back especially. Settle down through your sit bones, reach up high through the crown of the head. Stay in this very upright position or hinge at your hips and maybe place those elbows on your inner thighs. Breathe. You can stay in the version where your spine is straight, or you can round your back and drop your head down. Do what feels good, what gives you a stretch without causing any pain. Breathe deeply, your eyes can close. Inhale, blink your eyes open, slowly come up, and in the same way, lift one leg up, holding on to the outside and then the other leg. Good. Turn so that you're facing the lateral edge of your yoga mat, the long edge. And you're going to come, doesn't matter which side is first, just lying on your side, knees bent. Right, this is my right arm, for you it could be your left. Whatever arm is down, stack the shoulder above the elbow and let the ribs, the rib cage, the side body, sink down towards the floor. You can stay in this version. What we're doing here is finding a stretch through gravity in the obliques, intercostals, all of these muscles that work so hard to support in the twists. You can stay there, or you can make it a little bit more relaxing, lower onto the head. You get less of a stretch there, there's less space between your body and the mat. Breathe deeply. You can close your eyes.
This is a good one if you have the time to really get into, to stay, to hold. More like a yin practice for 2, 3, or 5 minutes. Yin practice in itself, especially for us Vinyasa lovers, is another challenge with discomfort. Maybe I'm just speaking personally for myself. Okay. Use your hand, spread through the fingers, push down. Use the other hand and swing your body over to the other side. Knees are bent here. Onto forearm or onto elbow. Position yourself so the elbow is out underneath the shoulder, and just let that body slump and drape down. Try not to let the left shoulder come way up high towards the ear. I'm supporting here a bit, a little bit of engagement and awareness in the left shoulder. Close your eyes, relax your face. Allow time and gravity to ease you deeper into this pose. Delight in this calm. After such a powerful practice, it's so nice and rewarding to have some restorative thrown in there. Maintain the breath. If your eyes are closed, slowly blink them open. Gently lift yourself up. Turn yourself around so you're sitting with your knees up towards the ceiling. Reach around for one of the blocks or a pillow. The water bottle sadly is not going to work in this, but if you have a block or a pillow, bring it beside you. And then make your way onto your back. For a couple versions of bridge pose. Knees up towards the ceiling, feet hip distance, toes point forward. For a long time, and still today I think, a lot of teachers teach to walk those heels in as closely as you can. And I also used to teach like that. I no longer do. Instead, I'd rather your knees be up over your ankles. And if you practice like this, bringing your heels in tight next to your bum, then when you lift up, your knees are going to be far forward. So instead, you've got make some space between your heels and your sit bones. Hands down beside you. Push into the feet, lift your hips up, engage your glutes and your hamstrings. Maybe wiggle the shoulders under. Interlace the fingers and breathe. Then release the fingers, walk the shoulders out. Exhale, slowly roll hips down. You can lift those heels up to give yourself more space. Bridge pose 2 more times, this time exactly the same. If you want to go into full wheel, by all means, please, now is the time. Push into the feet, lift up. Interlace the fingers, lift up as high as you can, comfortably. You don't have to interlace the fingers, you can keep the hands beside you and push down into the palms. If you're in full wheel, gently lower down. If you're in bridge, release the interlacing of the fingers, slowly lower hips down. Last to touch of those hip points. Good. If you have more energy in you and you really want to practice your wheel pose, again, please, you can do that now. That's up to you. I am going to take a supported version of bridge, which is one of my absolute favorite yoga poses to be in, is supported bridge. If you're going to join me in the supported bridge, grab your prop, push down into your feet, lift up into bridge the way that you just did, and then slide that prop underneath you. You can go at this height, lower height, or if you feel comfortable in back bends, you can go up to the highest height. I'm going to find this second version. Place the block down, place your body down on the block so that the fleshy part of your bum is over the block. Place it down on the sacrum, the low back. Good. Hands can rest on the belly, hands can rest by your side with the thumbs turned out like Shavasana. If you're in full wheel, you may want to come down soon. Maybe join us in the restorative, resting, supported bridge pose. Eyes can close here. Weight is resting down, melting into the prop and into the floor. If you have no prop, if you don't have a prop that would work for you like this, then what you can do is you can, and I'm going to move my prop just to show you, but if you have your prop there, keep it there and hold and breathe, is you can lift your hips up high and place your hands underneath your hips, fingers out, thumbs in. Breathe like this. But if this is a version that's a little bit too intense and doesn't feel restive, then lower onto the floor with your hips. If you're in bridge pose without support, please lower down out of bridge. If you're in bridge with the support underneath your sacrum and you feel that this support is secure enough, then pull one leg and then the other up and extend legs up in the air. Give your feet, give your ankles time to reverse the flow of blood, to feel the prana in the feet. Now slowly bend both of your knees. Place one foot down and then the other foot. Lift your hips up, remove your prop, and on the exhalation, lower down. Hips touch last. Good, so we should all be in the same place. Wiggle your feet out, let your knees fall in. Extend your legs out into Shavasana. Rest your hands onto your stomach or by your side. Get comfortable. Take your time. Once you have found your position, try as best you can to remain still. Get all of your fidgeting out at the beginning of your resting pose of Shavasana, so that you can be still in body and mind as best you can for the rest of the pose. Feel the heels in the floor. Feel especially those hips, the weight of the hips, the strength of the hips melting and being released down into the floor, into the yoga mat. Feel the same melting, the same relaxation, heaviness at the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the tops of the arm bones. And feel the same heaviness at the back of your head. Heels, hips, shoulders, and head, all heavy and melting down. Breath is back to a natural state. Face is relaxed. Body is still. Mind is still. If you can stay in your Shavasana, then please stay. But if you're limited to the 75 minutes, then join me in taking a deep inhale. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh. Breathe in, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. Keep your eyes closed. Reach your arms overhead and slowly bend your knees up towards the ceiling. Carefully roll onto your right side, resting your head on your arm in a fetal position. Eyes stay closed. Push down with your left hand and your right hand. Make your way into a cross-legged or kneeling position. Find the height through the crown of your head once again. Hands rest down onto your knees or your thighs. Bring to mind the intention of the class, learning and practicing, remembering to be okay with discomfort. It will take time, it will take practice, but through your practice, you will find progress. Inhale, bring your hands up to heart center. Exhale, gently bow your head down. The light in me honors and recognizes the light in you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. If you like this class, please like and share. You can also find me on my personal yoga page, Kara Bemis Yoga, on Facebook, or my website, karabemisyoga.com. Thank you.